Welcome to Where I Long to Be, a magical trip report podcast. My name is Virginia, and I am your host. Before we get started, I want to thank everyone so much for your support after our family's loss. I had so many comments and messages, and I really, really appreciate your words and your patience as I took some time off. It's been a challenging couple of weeks and a hard year all around in many ways. So I am ready for 2026 to begin and for us all to get a fresh start. So, with that, let's get going on wrapping up the episodes from this year's trips. After today's shows, I have 2 more 2025 trip reports, and I'm going to sandwich a very special Off the Monorail episode in between them before we enter season 6. On today's show, I am so happy to welcome one of my besties, Jeanette, back to the podcast. There's a moment or two where you will hear some sirens in the background, and normally, since I live and record in New York City, I will notice a siren and we will pause recording until it passes. But in this case, Jeanette and I were just in the zone, and I noticed it during the editing process. Hopefully, it won't get in the way of your enjoyment of the episode. Welcome back to Jeanette.
Thank you for having me. I basically forced my way back onto the podcast, tricked my way back on.
You don't have to force it very hard. I very quickly was like, yes, please. So for people who don't know you, Jeanette, can you introduce yourself and give us a little bit of your background?
Sure. I'm Jeanette. I am 1/4 or 1/5, depending on our grouping, of the Disney Dames. Virginia's mostly New York City based girlfriend band. I live in Brooklyn. I'm the Brooklyn contingency of the Dames. I'm a writing coach and a screenwriter. I actually am working mostly on animated screenplays. So it's probably no surprise that I love Disney movies. I love Pixar movies. And since I was a little tiny toddler, I have loved theme parks. And I'm now an annual pass holder. So I go, 4 or 5, sometimes if I'm lucky, 6 times a year. And there's never not a good reason to just add an extra trip when you're an annual pass holder.
I think we find it a little too easy to
A
just
little too
add a
easy.
little trip here and there.
Why not?
I think Jeanette has been on the podcast more than anyone else except for Alex.
Yeah. Well, I was lucky enough, I think, to be your first podcast guest with my bestie Marin,
Mm-hmm.
who is not going on this trip but wishes that she was.
Aw. Yes, we love Marin. So anybody who's looking for more Jeanette after this episode is over, there's plenty of episodes with Jeanette and Marin and
Doing Dapper
others.
Days, doing
Yeah.
Run Disney, some
Yeah.
Disneyland. Yep.
So perhaps another time we will get down there when I can be there at the same time as Marin, because I've never been at the same time as Marin before.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
think.
true. The closest that came was the time that you came down for Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
and she was also on that trip, but she was on a cruise. So it was like
Yes, we
you
missed each
guys were
other.
literally like ships passing in a night because you were there while she was on a ship, and then she got off
Mm-hmm.
the ship and you were already gone.
Yep. So it's bound to happen one day. But I have been fortunate enough to meet her in person here in New York. So
Yes.
we have crossed paths in real life, but never in Disney. So that's on my bucket list, my Disney bucket
Yay.
list. All right, let's talk about how this trip came to be,
Sure.
which I think you and I both have known lots of people and heard of lots of people who live, especially in the New York City area, it seems, but also a lot of people that seem to be in the Philly area who are out of state annual pass holders who pop down to Disney for a 1-day trip.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for me, I've looked at them and gone, oh, I'd really like to try that sometime. That sounds exhausting, exhilarating, all of that. And if the stars could align in terms of schedule and the price of a round trip ticket and the timing of flights and everything, I would love to do that at some point.
See, I think I mostly looked at them and thought, that's cuckoo birds.
Yeah, I mean, but you're still doing it, right? I mean, well, you're doing it a little
Ish.
differently-ish,
Ish,
yes.
yeah.
So, anyway, I have been lamenting on recent interviews that people have probably heard, about how I did not have anything concrete planned until July for our big normal annual DVC trip that we would be doing in February. We're doing it in July this time
And
because
that's just
of
way too long.
it's too long, and I was starting to feel really bummed about it, and then especially, during the holidays, it's always fun to think about being in Disney for the holidays and getting to see that in person as much as it, is cool to see it on Disney Plus or whatever and through other people's stories, like you wanna be there yourself.
Yes.
And so I started looking and I had identified um, a Saturday, which was actually Saturday the 6th, that had like an $80 round trip ticket on Spirit Airlines. And I thought, I think I might do that. And so I was just waiting for Charles to kind of like get a chance to hear about it. Cause I think when I had identified it, it was like it at night. He goes to bed super early. I go to bed late. So it was at a time when he was already asleep. So I couldn't be like, "Hey, I think I'm going to do this thing." Not that he would like really care, but I just wanted to kind of get sign off.
Same
Um
situation. It's like, I'm not asking the husband for approval, but I do
right.
wanna let him know if I'm gonna leave the state.
Right. Yeah. No, and actually it wasn't I don't think it was the 6th. It was the weekend before maybe? No, that would have been Thanksgiving. Anyway, no, it was the 6th. It was that
I was gonna
he
say, I
he
feel like knowing a little bit about your schedule, I feel like it would have had to have been the 6th.
right, no, it was the 6th, and I remember what it was. I brought it up to him. I said, "I think I might do this." And he said, "Oh, Alex has a doctor's appointment. You probably want to wait and see how all that goes before you schedule something." And I was like, "Fair enough, fair enough." And so
Be a responsible mom.
okay. So anyway, he had the doctor's appointment. Everything was good, and so I went back to book it, and it had gone up in price. And I
Yeah.
was like, "Dang it! Why did I have to be so responsible?" Um, but it worked out because I was like, "Well, let me just play around, with those the day and the time, and like, could I justify maybe paying a bit more for it?" And then I figured out that on Friday, December 5th, I could get a round trip ticket for $72, which was less, and I could get down there on the very first flight of the day, and I could come back on the very last flight of the day as long as I was willing to fly into Newark on my way back.
Right.
Um, and so I went ahead and did it. Now, is this going to be a pain on the way back? Maybe so.
Yeah.
But we're going to see if it's worth it. I'm
Yeah.
just going to do it. And then I said to Jeanette, "Okay, here's what I'm doing. Here's the day. And this is where your part of the story comes in. What did you say?"
Yeah. So I definitely wanted to go, but I have never gone to see the Rockettes
Mhm.
perform their Christmas show.
Mhm.
And Maria is going on the 6th. And I had said, I'm going with you, whatever. And then weeks later, she was like, it's at 10 a.m. And I was like, it is? What's it doing at 10 a.m.? But, I still want to go. I want to go with her. I want to go.
Uh-huh.
So but it's the 6th. And so I have to be in New York before 10 a.m. on
Mhm.
December 6th. So I was thinking about the back and, the there and back. And I'm like, if that flight got delayed, if that last flight got
Mhm.
canceled, I,
Right.
I would be SOL. So like, I don't
Yeah.
feel comfortable doing that. But
Mhm.
I have a lot of flexibility with work. And so I looked into, well, what would it be like if I flew out on the 4th and then
Mhm.
flew back a little bit earlier on the 5th, kind of giving me that wiggle room of like, if my flight gets delayed or even if it get canceled, it's not the last flight of the day. So that's what I ended up doing. And unlike you, I didn't end up getting return flight there and back, all on Spirit. I got a flight out on Frontier, which was
Mhm.
$40, and a flight back on Spirit, which was $40. So it was $80
Perfect.
round trip.
Mhm.
Um, Yeah.
Cool. Okay. And you're traveling with just a backpack and you
Yep.
are doing the one night there. Um, where are you going to be staying for the one night?
So I did a lot of research, and unfortunately, all the value resorts were booked up, or I would have just stayed at a value resort. And the closest thing would have been, I think, like $300 that night for
Oh,
me.
yeah.
And I was like, that just feels like a lot for one little me. So I ended up finding it's like a recently renovated motel. Like I think maybe it was a Comfort Inn, and it's
Mm-hmm.
now called Compose at the resorts or Compose at the theme park. It's got really good ratings. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
it's got like some reviews that are like, these ratings are lying.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. But I'm really just using it as a place to crash.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even anticipate necessarily needing to rinse off the Florida heat because it looks like it's going to be very mild and
Mm-hmm.
lovely. So yeah, I'm just going to crash there. In fact, I'm not even going to go there until the end of the night on the 4th. I'm going to take my backpack,
Mm-hmm.
Uber straight from MCO to Hollywood Studios, where I'll store my backpack in a locker, commence my day, end my day at Hollywood Studios, grab my backpack, and probably not head to the hotel until like 10 p.m.
What are you doing with the remainder of that day? You're starting and ending at Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
And I should say, like, just to put this out there, Jeanette and I have barely talked about what we're going to be doing. Like,
We
we made the
basically were like
let's
Magic
do
Kingdom
it. Yeah, we're
together.
we're we're going.
Yeah.
We have one reservation. I think we have two reservations right
Yeah.
now.
We
But
might
besides
cancel one.
that, like we have not talked about like you guys are going to hear this live in real time as we talk about what our priorities are for our time together. So before we get into that though, I want to hear what your priorities are and your plans are for the 4th.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you and I both have a love of solo time in the park. Just
Mhm.
that like freedom to be able to be like, I'm just gonna do whatever I feel like. So I'm doing all the things that I've never really gotten to do before. Um, or usually don't get a chance to do because other people in the party aren't as into it.
Mhm.
So dropping my bag off at Hollywood Studios, not hanging out there, getting right on the Skyliner. Got to get my coffee at Riviera. That is the
Mhm.
pro move.
Yes.
And then heading into Epcot. The Festival of the Holidays will be going on, but I'm not really all that excited about the festival foods. I think there's like a beer that I'm going to try. So I'm going to revisit some of my favorite Epcot foods that are not festival foods.
Mhm.
So we're talking like fish and chips, maybe lobster bisque in a bread bowl if they have it at Le Halls.
Mm.
Verdon's best day cake at the Norway bakery. All the little
Mhm.
treats that I just don't bother to get because usually I'm going gung ho on the festival foods.
Yeah.
But while I do that, I also want to check out some of the storytellers because I've
Mhm.
never done that before. So holiday storytellers are on my list. I want to go ride Remy's single rider. I'm hoping that they'll have the single rider line open.
Mhm.
I want to go see the glistening gardens at Living with the Land. I mean, Living with the
Yes.
Land is just mandatory anyway. I'm
Mhm.
sure you have that on your day plan.
Yes.
Um, and then I'm gonna probably walk from Epcot International Gateway to Hollywood Studios so that I can maybe check out some of the gingerbread houses that are at Beach Club, Yacht Club, and the boardwalk.
Mhm.
Then I'm going to spend the later part of the day at Hollywood Studios. I hear that they have Muppets Christmas Carol props and costumes at the Walt Disney Presents. So I want to check that out. I might
Mhm.
even just relax and watch some holiday themed cartoons that are apparently being shown right now at Walt Disney Presents. I also want to check out the Sunset Seasons, which is like the projection show on Tower of Terror, mostly just so I can catch the Muppet part. And then I plan to end my day there with Fantasmic because I don't always get to do Fantasmic. In fact, the last time I saw it was with you on our Dames trip.
Oh, yes, when I got told to stop running.
Running like a kid full, like, no like, reckless abandon.
Yes. Yes, I understand we should not run in Disney, but I just really wanted to make it there for the arm waving part of the
I mean, look, I
choreography.
probably would have been running too, but I was carrying an ice cream sundae.
Oh my word. That was a fun trip. Okay, now I am flying in on a 5:30 a.m. flight, which should get me to MCO, I think by 8:45 is what it projects.
Nice and early.
And my plan is to get an Uber or a Lyft straight, I suppose, to Magic Kingdom, and I'm only saying suppose because I know that part of the day I would really like to squeeze in a walk through Wilderness Lodge lobby, but
Mhm.
I'm afraid that they won't let me drop off there. I know it's not a monorail resort, but I don't want to get turned away at the gate
Yeah.
to
See,
say I'm
I'm
coming in
planning
just to
to
see
get
the
dropped
tree.
off on that day at Riviera.
Yeah.
And my plan was just to tell them, which this is the truth, that
Mhm.
I'm going to grab breakfast at Prima Piatto. So I
Mhm.
wonder if you said, like, I'm going to grab breakfast at I
Roaring
can't think of,
Fork.
yeah, at Roaring Fork,
Yeah.
if they would let you.
I mean, I guess I could try, and if they say no, I could just be like, "All right, take me to the TTC. That's fine," and just
Yeah.
add on to my ride.
Yeah.
Maybe I could do that because I would like to just walk through the lobby, feel the
Mhm.
feels for a few minutes, see the tree, maybe see if they have any good Wilderness Lodge Christmas merch,
Mhm.
and then I could hop on the boat to go over to Magic Kingdom.
Mhm.
So maybe I'll give that a try, and then if they say no, you can't come in, I'll say, "Don't you know who I am?" No, I'm kidding.
Well, it's interesting because I feel like you and I will be kind of on similar journeys because I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
try to go right from Compose to Riviera, have some
Mhm.
breakfast at Riviera, and then use the Riviera bus to get to Magic
Yeah.
Kingdom. So I could
Yeah.
avoid the TTC too.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily I'm not opposed to the TTC. I'm just what I'm thinking is, like, for, um, efficiency's sake,
Yeah.
it would be nice to get that out of the way at the beginning of the day, and then that way, when I'm ready to park hop later, I can just hop on the monorail
Yeah.
to go to Epcot as opposed to feeling like, "Oh, I gotta take the boat over to Wilderness Lodge." If I have to, I have to. And maybe I'll change my mind on the day and I'll be like, "I don't need to do this." But I could take the boat over and then just take the bus to Epcot
Mhm.
from Wilderness. So we'll see. There's a lot up in the air here.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, when we get to the Magic Kingdom, it's gonna be a party day.
Yes.
So I
So
think,
hopefully that means low crowds.
yeah, it should be low crowds. And we have scored a reservation at the Beacon Barrel.
Woohoo!
So
And
I'm really
will
looking
this
forward to
be
that.
your first time there?
It will be. Yes. Because
Yay!
the last time I was there for Labor Day weekend, it was like the opening time. And so
Mhm.
all of the reservations were just, impossible to get.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah, I'm
I
looking forward to
we
that.
got a reservation when I went in October.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really interested to find out if this happens for you because Marin's family had just gotten DVC
Mm-hmm.
and DVC reached out to her about a new program, the Disney Vacation Club Concierge.
Mm-hmm.
So they actually made all our dining reservations for us. And
Mm-hmm.
they were also going to make the like magical extras, although we didn't end up getting any of the ones that we wanted.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if in the future you'll have access to that concierge or if it's a program that they'll decide not to do. I'm not really sure. But they got us, I want to say I was in a big group. I think it
Mm-hmm.
was 7 of us that
Yeah.
we got a reservation for Beacon Barrel. It's a little bit after it had opened. It wasn't like early weekends.
Mm-hmm.
But we got sat in one of the booths. And the thing about that space is I know everybody says like, oh, you can kind of like get up and walk around, but it is kind of like where you're placed.
Mm-hmm.
And especially if you know that you're going to get the chance to come back, it's kind of nice to just enjoy it from the place that you're placed, whether that's
Right.
closer to the bar, or in the side room, or even in like the map room.
Yeah.
So I'm just hoping that like we get like a cool spot as 2 people. Maybe we get to sit at the bar. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm open to whatever, and I am just looking forward to experiencing it and taking it all in and knowing that I'll be back
Yeah.
another time. So I'm not gonna, feel bad about wherever we're seated. I'm gonna just be appreciative that I'm there.
And I think that's really part of the fun of it is it's like, it has that like immersive experience feel of like say the Trader Sam's, but
Yeah.
it's actually a bigger space.
hmm
So there's more to see. There's more to like experience.
Yeah. And from what I'm hearing from everybody I've interviewed who has been there so far, they're very insistent on the time frame that you're allowed to be
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
And so I don't anticipate there being like a lot of time to wander around and look at everything anyway.
Right.
So, um, will I have two drinks? 'Cause I know you can get two drinks.
Yeah.
Probably not. I'll probably just have
Yeah, I only
one.
ended up getting one because I felt like it was gonna feel really rushed. I'd have to like
Yeah.
chug.
Yeah,
My chugging days are behind me.
me too, and I don't wanna make myself feel bad for the rest of the day considering I have the one day.
Right.
Um, Now my priorities for Magic Kingdom are really just to enjoy Beacon Barrel, to enjoy the Christmas decorations. I do want to do People Mover.
Mhm.
That's a given. And then anything else we happen to do while we're there, like if it has a really low wait time or something, like I'm good with I wanna look for my Haunted Mansion pajamas, because
May
they
they
were
have come back in stock.
maybe so. I know, like, I was looking for them, you looked for them on your
I
trip for
did.
me, and so cross my fingers, maybe I'll get that. I have taken that into account when I'm thinking about, like, how I'm gonna
Pack.
use air quotes, "pack" for this day
Yeah. You
because
gotta have that little wiggle room for the jammies.
I do. So I'm bringing my Longchamp Le Pliage, which if you know, you know, best tote bag ever, on the plane because like on Spirit, you can just bring your personal item. So that will count as my personal item. And I will have my crossbody smaller, my Alice in Wonderland Dooney
Yeah.
crossbody that I'm going to be using for the day. And so I likely will uh, I'm probably going to grab a locker
Well,
just
I'm
to
gonna
put
have a locker, so chances are we
yeah,
can share a
we
locker.
we can share a locker. Okay, perfect. Because I don't wanna be carrying around that much stuff while I'm in the park, but I need to have enough room that if I want to buy something, I can.
Yeah.
So that's the plan with that, and then, besides that, we'll just see where the day takes us. My other big priority is Epcot, and enjoying Festival of the Holidays. So that's
Yeah.
the plan.
I mean, so for me, enjoying Beacon Barrel with you
Mhm.
and checking out the holiday decorations, maybe even just like chilling on the hub for a minute.
Mhm.
Um, I would say if we can catch Jingle Cruise, I would do
Mhm.
it. People Mover is always a good one. I don't really feel the need to do like thrill rides or
Mhm.
like make it a because usually when I travel there we're all getting the multi pass and we do a lot of rides, and
Yeah.
so don't want to be burdened with the timing of multi pass on this trip. Just want to
Mhm.
kind of enjoy Christmas, and since
Yeah.
there's not really that many Christmas overlays, it's not like, well, at least in Magic Kingdom,
Mhm.
that's not I just don't feel like rides are a priority. I did make us
Yeah.
a reservation at Tony's.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
not sure
I think the
if
timing
I
might
wanna
be
take
too
that,
tight
yeah.
with Beacon
I
Barrel.
I think timing and then also for me, like, I'd rather spend more time in Epcot. So
Fair.
I will probably want to already be hopping. Um, I did get multipass for Epcot for
Okay.
that day because I was
Yeah.
like, I don't need it for Magic Kingdom anyway, and really the only reason I got it for Epcot, which, may be a silly reason, is I did not get to do Test Track
Oh, okay.
when I was there last time, and I really wanted to do the new version of Test Track. So I was like, well, I might as well just get it for the day so I can lock in a time. And
Yeah.
so I booked Test Track and I booked Glimmering Greenhouses, Living with the Land, and Soarin'. And I was like, really I'm just doing it for that one thing. And
We
I
should maybe
also
touch base because maybe we want to do Guardians.
I did get an
You did.
individual lightning lane for Guardians, and I
What
will tell
times?
you it's not until later in the evening. Like it's
Oh,
at
okay.
like 8:30, and it
Wah,
would not let me
wah.
modify. Now maybe it'll let me modify
Day of.
day of. I
Well,
am gonna
okay, so
try because
in
it's
the
cutting
morning,
it a
we'll
little
check it out.
close. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's cutting it a little close for my taste because
especially
my
with that
return
pre-show. Woo!
yeah. So my return flight leaves out of MCO at 10:45 PM,
Mhm,
which to me I mean, I have TSA PreCheck. I'm not
mhm.
sure how long TSA PreCheck goes until. I need to look that up. That's a bit of
Yes.
information I don't have at this moment. I'm not going to be checking a bag, obviously. So I think it will be a pretty quick get to the airport, get through security, all that based on the time that I'm flying. But an 8:30 reservation with Guardians is cutting it a little close. But I went
Yeah,
ahead and paid for it because I was like, I'm going to assume that I'm going to be able to modify it
yeah.
to a bit earlier.
Even if you have to talk to,
Even if
like,
I
guest
yeah, if I have to
relations.
go talk and be like, "I'm so sorry, can you help me?"
Yeah,
And I was banking sort of on the fact that I'm one person, it might be easy to modify it for one person.
yeah.
It's not like I have a group of 10.
Well, we'll keep our
Um,
eye on it because I wasn't gonna do it
yeah.
because I didn't feel like doing it by myself, but
Yeah.
with you, I'd do it.
Yeah.
Um,
The other reason I was thinking for, like wanting to do test track was given that it's a party night and
mhm,
that it's a Friday and that there's a festival going on, Epcot could very well be
could be
very
busy.
busy.
Yeah.
So,
I did not like Test Track.
did you not?
I did not. I just don't like the movement of that
Mm.
ride. And I
But
don't I think
did
I
you like it
didn't
before?
before. No.
Okay.
I've never
S-
liked it. But I thought
See,
like,
I
"Oh, maybe
enjoy it.
it'll be new and I'll like it." But then I was on
Yeah.
it and I was like, "I am really miserable. I do not enjoy this
Mm.
movement."
Well, I have liked it. Is it among my favorites? No,
Yeah.
but I do enjoy it, and so I just want to see the difference.
Yeah. No, and
Um,
I think, like unless you physically can't do it because of motion sickness, I feel like
yeah,
everybody should experience it. I've done it. Check. I don't ever
check, you
need to
did
do
it.
it again.
Yeah. My other priority really is Festival of the Holidays. I would like to try to try to see at least one storyteller. I
Mhm.
want to hit up the booths. I want to try some treats. Um, there was one other thing I was thinking I might get as a souvenir. It was the I was thinking, can I fit this and pajamas in my bag? What was it? Oh, I can't even think what it was.
Some Figment sweater ears. Do you need yourself
No,
some Figment sweater
no,
ears?
it's not. Uh, I think I might wear my sweater ears that you gave me though
Oh,
for
yay.
this trip because when
Yeah.
we were there last for Christmas, I wore my gingerbread ears,
Mhm.
and so I'm thinking maybe the sweater ears. Since
Cute.
it's sweater weather, at
Sweater weather.
least up here in New York. That's the other thing is like, what are you planning in terms of clothing based on what we're looking at for weather, which is looking at my weather app right now. Friday, right now, high of 80, low of 59. So for me, high of 80, I can be comfortable in jeans.
Mm. Yeah. I made a new pair of shorts.
Okay.
I made a pair of gingham shorts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be wearing those. I also have a pair of gingham leggings.
Mm-hmm.
So if I feel like I'm too cold, I could swap my gingham shorts for gingham leggings. So I'll just probably have those
Okay.
in my smaller
Yeah.
backpack that I'll be
Day
carrying
to
with me all
night, if
day.
you will.
Dates and yes. I mean, I also have tights. I could make them summer, what I call, no, what I refer to as winter shorts when you wear
Uh-huh.
shorts over tights and then maybe a
Uh-huh.
little bit like, knee high boots. Those are summer
Uh-huh.
shorts or
Okay.
winter shorts. I know I keep saying summer. Summer shorts are just shorts. Um, so yeah, so I made these gingham shorts, and then I have a Christmas sweatshirt with Donald and Mickey and Goofy
Mm-hmm.
decorating a Christmas tree. And then I have just a plain black tank top that I'm gonna wear underneath it. So like when it's
Mm-hmm.
80, maybe the sweatshirt comes off and is wrapped around my waist.
Yeah.
And when it's, 60,
Mm-hmm.
sweatshirt's on, and maybe I've switched to leggings. So
Yeah.
that's day one plan. And then day two, I have like one of those athletic dresses,
Mm-hmm.
just plain black. But then I
Yeah.
have a super cute Disney sweater that was actually a
Mhm.
kid's sweater, but I got the biggest size. So I'm just gonna wear that, and then again, I'll have my leggings and my tank top with me if I need to swap for cooler
Yeah.
temperatures.
I don't think I have any short sleeve Christmassy shirts
No,
except for my shirt that I made with my Cricut that says, "Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus."
so cute.
So maybe I'll go dig that out
I think you need to
of
toss that in the bag.
the storage unit and maybe I can wear that. And then because I'm going to be coming from the cold in the dark of the middle of the night, basically, for my flight down there.
And Friday or Thursday and Friday here are supposed to be super cold.
Right. So I'm going to need my coat and my scarf. And I
Yeah,
feel like, oh, that was maybe what I was thinking about. It was not something I could buy, but could I have room in my tote during the day for my coat, which I have a packable, like, you know,
yeah,
LL Bean type thing, and my scarf, which I could wear onto the plane, take it off if I get too hot, fold it up to put in the bag to be in the locker. And
yeah,
then when I go back to the airport, I will need to take my coat out and either pretend to wear it or tie it around my waist or something to get back on the plane because
yeah.
I won't have room for that in my bag if I end up buying anything. And one of the things that Alex asked me to buy, and I'm not sure if I'm willing to do it or not, he asked me to go get him a custom popcorn. And the
Oh,
only reason I'm not sure if I'm willing
that's a
is
lot to
because
travel with.
it's big
It's
and
big.
then I have to have it with me like at Epcot in the locker. So I might I might
I
just say
don't
no to
know,
that and bring him
kiddo.
back some other treat instead, like a cookie or
Yeah.
something.
Get them holiday cookies from Epcot.
That's what I
That's
was
more
thinking.
holiday.
That's what I was thinking. And then once I get to the airport and get back to New York, I will be flying into Newark because that was the
You
way
have
to do
such a
this the more
long way
economically.
home.
That is really far from where I live in Queens. And
Yeah,
also based on the time of night, so it gets in at 1 a.m. I was looking and like all of the buses that could normally take you into Manhattan have stopped running by that time. And so I will be reliant on a taxi or an Uber. And I was looking up to estimate what the price would be. And it's about, from what I can tell, about $90 to get into Manhattan or like 120, 130 to get all the way home.
well, and this is what I always say about flying in and out of Newark, or like friends who are coming to visit and they're like, but the Newark flight is so inexpensive. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, but consider that
right,
you're going to need to get from New Jersey to
right.
me in Brooklyn, or I could meet you in Manhattan, but still, that's going to be a whole added expense.
Right,
Yeah,
which is true, but it was also the only flight that was
that
late
late.
enough that got me, like, the full day at
Yeah,
that
that's
point. Like,
totally fair.
had I done the original flights I had been looking at, my flight would have been a little bit earlier than that, but it would have
Right.
been into LaGuardia. And the truth is, like, I don't have anything specific on my calendar for the next day, so I recognize I'm gonna be, trying to make my way home at an ungodly hour. And it's gonna cost me a little bit of money, but e everything else about it was so cheap that
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, I don't really care.
Right, which is kind of like my balance of that is, like,
Yeah.
I was willing to pay for the motel.
Right, right, exactly, and,
Yeah,
yeah, I will say, if I can find a more affordable way to get to Manhattan, I would totally be willing to ride into Manhattan and then take the subway from there,
sure.
because I feel comfortable riding the subway even late at night like that.
Same.
I've lived in New York for 25 years now.
I mean, I used to wait tables. I had to
Yeah,
take the train home late at night all the time.
right, but when you're talking about, "Oh, it's probably gonna cost me $90 to get to Manhattan anyway," I'm like, "I
It's
might
rough.
as well spend
Add an
more and
extra
just."
40 and get all the way home.
Right, get all the way home. So, we'll see what the price is on the day of. I mean, I also am thinking that because the flight is so late, there's a good chance it could be delayed. It could be even pushed back to Saturday, in which case I might need to either just be hanging out at the airport or scrambling to find a cheap hotel to go crash for a few hours.
Right.
Maybe on Spirit's dime. I'm not sure how that works
Right.
with Spirit. This will be the second time I've ever flown Spirit. I flew it once and I was like, never again.
I don't think I've ever flown Spirit or Frontier.
Yeah, I
So
flew
this is
Spirit
all new for me.
once,
Yeah.
and I remember, like, the thing that really turned me off, and it was probably not even Spirit's fault, but I just associated it with them, was when we got there, there was, like, no gate for them to be at, and they had us sitting on the plane for, like, an hour and a half before they let us, get off the plane,
Okay,
and I
that
was
that does feel never again.
that felt never again. And then, like, just noticing the little things, like, it didn't have trays that would come down. It had, like,
Yeah.
2 pieces of elastic in an X to, like, hold a book or whatever. Um,
Well,
so I
I
said
I
never
already have
again,
told
but
myself, like, I've got movies downloaded because I don't think that Frontier has
no,
onboard
probably not.
entertainment. I don't know
Yeah.
if Spirit does, but I've already got a bunch of movies and TV shows downloaded to watch on the flight.
Mhm.
Um, my flight back on Friday is at 5:30,
Okay. So
and
what time are you gonna feel comfortable leaving by to make that?
I think I'm gonna leave around 3:30.
Okay.
And the reason that I'm thinking that, and I have to sort of like take the temperature when I'm at MCO, is that I
Mhm.
had heard that some of the monorail trains that are
Mhm.
going to the different terminals are being worked on. And so,
Oh,
depending on where your flight is, or based on like which one's running and human traffic when you get there, you might have to take a shuttle bus instead. So just knowing that that is an
good
X
to know.
factor, I want to make sure that I have the cushion.
Mhm.
I hope that's even enough time. But again, I'm going to try to feel it out when I'm at MCO on Thursday morning to see if that's actually the case or if things seem to be running totally smoothly anyway. It did say that Spirit was not listed as one of the airlines that were most affected by this. So,
Okay. We'll see. Yeah. I did just Google what the hours of the TSA pre-check lanes are, and they are
mm,
open from 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. So I
mhm.
am not going to be able to use TSA pre-check on my way out.
But then they must do that because it's not as busy.
I think so. I think so. And then I know that they have that thing where you can make like a reservation, but I'm not sure if that's going to apply. I'm just quickly Googling that. Free MCO reserve service. Oh, yeah. It's the reserve function is only available between 5 a.m. and 5 p.m.
Yeah.
for flights that happen between 6:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. So I will
I
just
mean, I would
be
be surprised if there's that many flights that are going out as late as yours. So if there's not
yeah.
that many flights going out that late as late as yours, then there's just not going to be that many people in line.
Yeah, so what I've kind of like I sat down and wrote out the stuff. I was like, okay, if my flight leaves at 10:45, that means boarding is probably at 10:15,
Yeah.
which means that to feel comfortable, especially considering I have no bags to check, I would like to be at MCO, I think by 9:30,
Hmm.
which means I need to be leaving Epcot no later than 9 p.m. And
For
that's
a
like
10:45 flight.
for a 10:45 flight. Because if I leave
So
at
it's
9
just
and I get to MCO by 9:30, I
so
have
it's just under
45
2
minutes.
hours that you're giving yourself basically. Hour
Yeah.
45. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if I
Yeah, which
get
is basically what I would probably do, except that I'm like, okay, might give myself the full two
right,
hours if the well, and my flight time will be busier. Although I do have TSA
right,
pre-check, and I won't be checking a bag or anything.
right. Yeah. So I figure if I'm to the airport by 9:30,
We just have to watch out because we have a bad record together
we
where
do.
we do
We do.
we
We
leave
do.
Disney too late. We're
Where
just
it
like,
cuts
I
it
don't want to
real
leave
close.
Disney.
I know. I think what I'm gonna have to do, like knowing in my head, you have to leave here. You need to be at the airport by 9:30 p.m.
Yeah.
I just need to be keeping an eye on what the security lines are like, which you can do through the MCO website.
Hmm.
And then also keeping an eye on my Lyft app to see like what is it estimating in terms of time for me to get there. Just
Yeah.
to keep that in mind. So as long as I'm to the airport by 9:30, I can for sure get through security and to a gate without a bag to check or anything
Yeah.
in time for 10:15 boarding. And I'm probably going to sleep for that, at least
You're
that
lucky.
portion of the
You
flight.
sleep pretty easily on
I
flights.
do, you know me. Sometimes I'm even asleep before the plane takes off. And then should I need it, I always have Pride and Prejudice downloaded to my phone so I can watch that one movie on repeat.
That's right.
Which, if you know, if you're a fan of the 2005 version, um, then that is what I have available to me to watch. And if I feel like I have space for my Kindle, I might bring my Kindle as well.
Yeah.
Although I have the Kindle app, so I technically could read from my phone too.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think I'm just going to be tired. I'm probably going to pass out.
It'll be a big day. It'll be a big, exciting, Christmassy day.
It is. And I'm going to try to like do some stuff for TikTok where I'm going to timestamp so that, people can see what a day like this is like to be there for less than 24 hours. But I'm just super excited to see it during the holidays. I didn't
Me
think I was going to
too.
get that chance this year. And I'm so excited to be able to go down with you since it's been
I
a while
know.
for
I know.
that
I feel
too.
like we literally are doing like a perfect little mini trip because we each get some alone time.
Yep.
We get some together time.
Mm-hmm.
And, I love being there at Christmas time with you.
Yes, me too. But we will talk when we get back, and we'll see how
We'll
this
talk
whole
while
thing
we're there
goes.
too.
Well, that, but I mean in front of other people, in front of the listeners.
It would be
It
super
would be
weird if we
super weird
didn't
if we
talk
didn't.
while we were
Yeah.
there.
No,
Save it for the
podcast.
podcast.
Oh, it's going to be a good time. I am really looking forward to it.
Thank you for letting me just leech onto your trip.
I have a feeling like if everything goes like we're hoping it will go, this is going to open up a whole new world for us in terms of looking for flights and
Yes.
it just being like a down and back kind of thing for us
Yeah,
whenever
because
we feel like it.
I never think to even look at these like discount airlines
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, I'm just gonna check a bag and then it's
Yeah.
gonna add all that much more. And I want to pick my seat. Like normally I
Yeah.
want all that stuff, but this time I'm just like, no, I just want my cheap flight.
Yeah. Me too. All right, Jeanette, I
Yes.
will see you in Disney
See you in Disney.
in a matter of days.
Just a couple more sleeps.
Yay! All right.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you to Jeanette, as always, for being on the show, and thank you all for listening. The Post Trip Report is up next in your queue if you're subscribed to the show on your podcast app of choice. As always, keep daydreaming about where you long to be.